Hibs move up to fourth with a snooze fest, Celtic finally break the curse at the Mac and Cheese Shack, and Rangers manage to put one goal past Aberdeen and destroy a bald man's career. This is the False 90s podcast.
With us today, it's Lewis, Andy and Carl. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Yeah, not too bad. I like that intro, Lewis. That was pretty good.
I wonder who that bald man is I'm referencing.
Find out later.
We'll start with
Stay
that.
tuned.
Oh, you might as well just start with that one, because it finished at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0.
Yes, so in the end it was quite a big tough push for Rangers. Obviously we got the goal in the 81st minute, but yeah, it's starting to become more obviously such a Rangers now thing to do is obviously have all the possession, have all the shots, but only 2 shots on target again. So yeah, it's just one of them things. But yeah, obviously the amount of shots that we had was good. Amount of possession as well was also pleasing, but obviously it became a really tough test with the back line of Aberdeen. Fair play to them. And obviously the goal come in with Roof, who came on as a sub a couple of minutes before. But yeah, obviously it doesn't really matter about how you get the 3 points as long as you get the 3 points. And obviously that put us on level points with the Celtic game before they came in. So
Yeah, Aberdeen had 2 shots all game, 0 shots on target, 36% possession. Just Rangers could totally dominate this game. It looked like, they were on top. They just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. Had a massive XG of 1.86, which shows that they had a lot of chances, just didn't put them away until near the very end with Kimo Roof. But it's a win that keeps them in the hunt of Celtic, which we'll switch to Celtic in a second, but we'll talk about a former Celtic player. Scott Brown has left Aberdeen as both assistant manager and player.
I'll come in on this one because I've actually done a wee bit of research on what happened. From what I've seen, from various news sources, Sky Sports, and the BBC and stuff as well, Scott Brown's left to focus on his coaching development, which essentially means he's hung up his boots. Obviously joined Aberdeen last summer in a player coach role, but I believe a lot of it's to do with the departure of Stephen Glass, Jim Goodwin coming in, because in his sort of parting speech he didn't mention any of the coaching staff. He didn't mention Jim Goodwin, and what he actually said was, I would like to take this opportunity to firstly thank the board at Aberdeen and of course Stephen Glass and his backroom staff for giving me the opportunity to enjoy my first taste of coaching.
That's a bit of a subtle shot.
It is a subtle shot. I'd also like to thank all my teammates and the great staff both at Cormack Park, Aberdeen's training ground, and Pittodrie. I knew I was only in the North East for a short period, but the fans made me feel welcome from day one. Aberdeen is a huge club and I know there is a real determination from all to deliver success both on and off the pitch. I wish them all the best for the remainder of the season. But as Sam's just said there, the main thing from that is the fact he's failed to mention the new manager. So has there been ruptures in the back room, and that's why Scott Brown's left to focus on his coaching career?
I think the fact as well is that, Jim Goodwin's been in the job, a week or two now?
3 weeks, I think.
3 weeks, yeah.
3
So
weeks, yeah.
If he was to leave because he was, working well with Stephen Glass, he would have left with Stephen Glass, I'm pretty sure. At least stopped becoming a coach with Stephen Glass and maybe just become a player. But the fact that he's kind of left completely and didn't mention Jim Goodwin at all, and it's been a little bit of a while since Jim Goodwin came in, it seems that there's been a little bit of probably a falling out or something there. I'm not too sure.
they've fallen out, to be honest. I would probably just say, to be honest, Jim Goodwin is a fan. Imagine this is like playing for a fan, really.
Yeah.
Or that could be one of it. But I don't think it's been much. Obviously, I don't think he's not been played at all. Really, obviously, someone needs to verify if he actually has played under Goodwin. But from why he obviously wasn't in the squad for the Rangers game. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it was anything. Maybe just because obviously Stephen Glass was his mate. I think it's just comes down to that. To be honest, it doesn't know there's anything happening in the dressing room because obviously I hate to say it, but Scott Brown is a professional guy. So I don't know. Don't know how
it looks like he's only played one game under Goodwin, and that was the 2-0 win over Hearts last midweek. Sorry, the 2-0 loss to Hearts in midweek. So I don't know, possibly doesn't want to, step on Goodwin's toes kind of thing, because obviously he's the more senior player probably, and he's
does he not want to be there, or is he being forced out? But I don't think we'll ever find out or say, because I think it's a bit either way, and sounds a bit derogatory to his legacy though.
I think Scott Brown is too professional to come out and start slating a coach. I think he'll make subtle digs, like he has in that speech, but I don't think he would come out and go, Jim Goodwin's an arsehole. Like, I don't think it's in his character. I hate to say it as well, because I think everyone will agree with me, right? When Scott Brown was at Hibs or Celtic, Scott Brown's that one player that if you're no supporting the team he plays for, you hate him, but you secretly would want him on your team just for his professionalism and just how he's an excellent
player like
shithouser.
Scott Brown. I wouldn't have Scott Brown.
No,
I mean, it's a bit different.
Scott Brown. Sam Red.
It's a bit different, I suppose, if you support like Rangers. But obviously, Sam, you would have took him back at Hibs. Andy, you probably didn't actually want him to leave to go to Aberdeen. You would have wanted him in a coaching role at Celtic.
Exactly.
Coming on to that point, though, does he now go into the Celtic coaching setup? Maybe not in the first team, but like under 18s youth setup.
Because
I mean, there's talk he could end up flying his way over to Cyprus and meet up with another old pal, Neil, at Motherwell, Nicosia.
It's Ammonia.
Ammonia, Nicosia.
Some club with a Shamrock.
Some club with a Shamrock. Yeah, Neil Lennon taking the manager job there, which is a bit funny because Neil Lennon's now managed 3 Irish Shamrock, whatever related clubs with Celtic, Hibs, and now Ammonia. So he's just connected to the Irishness. So I think what happened with the fact that he left for Aberdeen in the first place is because the Celtic backroom was such a mess that he had to get out, but now it's kind of been cleared up a little bit. You've got Anjan there, seems to have sorted a lot of stuff out. Maybe he could go back to Celtic. I'm not too sure. We'll move on now to Celtic finally ending their Tony Macaroni Stadium curse with a 3-1 win at Livingston, their first win at Livingston in 15 years.
Hey. I mean, to think that there's people who were at that game that weren't born the last time that they won against Livingston is just hilarious. Like, I know obviously Livy weren't in the league for a while, but like it's crazy to think that it's been that long, especially because I mean, to be fair, Livy are probably at the best now they've been in a while, but like we should have beaten them between now and then. We should have beaten a weaker Livy side than now, but no, it's crazy. I mean, it's such emphatic as well. Although it should have been 4-0, it was 3-1. It was probably one of the worst penalties I've seen in a while. Just. It was lucky that it hit the post. It was going so wide, and I think that's why you need. I mean, that's just unfortunate that both times against Livy our designated penalty takers not being available, and we've had to resort to folk who don't usually take penalties. It was just a good victory from start to finish. Although I am worried because we struggled to limit Livy's chances. I mean, they were getting in behind quite a lot. I mean, crashed 2 headers off the crossbar and we're lucky not to score. But just the sheer number of chances we created sort of overwhelmed them. So even if they'd scored 2, we probably would have scored another couple more. But yeah, it was a good result. And obviously, you'll take any 3-pointer from the Tony Mac you'd take. So I can't complain. I'm very happy.
So 3 points does see Celtic stay 3 points clear of Rangers in the title race. And obviously a win at Livy is very good. Kills the curse, of course, and it also means that if they slipped up here, it would have been equal points. But I think now they're at a point where they're 3 points clear. They're kind of like holding Rangers at arm's length if both teams keep on winning, which is, I think, what Celtic would want at this point.
Yeah, I think this league will definitely come down to the last 2 Old Firm games that are remaining. Still anyone's league, really. Depends, obviously, if Celtic win one, Old Firm, Rangers win the other. Then yeah, I know, big prize at the end as well, to be honest. But if we win Europa League, then automatic Champions League place anyway. So I don't know.
It's one way to think about it. We'll get onto that Europa League preview later. We're going to go back to the rest of the Premiership games. And I think I called this in the predictions, but a third 0-0 draw in a row for Hibs against St Johnstone. It's just...
To be fair, if it makes you any better, Sam, we only beat St Johnstone by 1 goal. So
yeah, no, but at this point, you think they would just fly Sam out and ask him if he wants to start up top, and maybe they have a better chance of scoring goals. Sure, they can defend, but defense doesn't matter if you can't even have a shot on target. Every game's going to end 0-0 that way.
You should Sam, apply for a job. You should literally just say, I have a couple of years' experience on Football Manager.
I mean, it's just upsetting because Maloney was all like, "Oh yeah, we're going to play a really diverse attacking brand of football, high pace, high intensity, high counter attack," and just hasn't been able to deliver that at all. In fact, he's just playing park the bus football.
Yeah, that's just. I mentioned last week, Nisbet been injured. We've lost Boyle this season. We've got loads of attack-minded players who can set up chances and everything, but there's no one who can put them in. There is, yeah. So you just need a striker who can just put a ball into the back of the net. But seems to be no one. I think people are excited about the Norwegian guy Melkersen. He's a striker. So, but obviously it'll take time to settle into a new country. So it's going to be tough to see where the goals are coming from, and if you keep on drawing games, then you're not just picking up 1 point every game. That's not the form to get into the top 6. Hibs have won the least amount of games out of the current top 6 clubs with 9. So it's a tough one right now for them. There's not much to talk about in terms of controversy because there's literally nothing that went on. But Lewis, you've had a look at all the other games, but we'll go for your club next. Motherwell 1, Dundee 1.
I don't have too much to really say. Game kicks off, and the first chance of the game is pretty much for Dundee straight off the bat. We're only about 6 minutes in at this point. Ball comes in. It's an absolute right. As much as it's against my club, right, I want to say that this was a delicious goal. Ball comes in towards Paul McMillan from the cross. He controls it perfectly and just curls it past Liam Kelly. Just fires it across. Honestly, if you've not seen the goal, regardless of whether you're with me on the pod or you're listening to the pod, go and watch the goal. The goal was fantastic. And then next goal comes in the 18th minute from Joseph Efford, or Joe Efford. Van Veen gets the ball played into him off of an interception from Mark O'Hara. Manages to hold off the defence, slides the ball across the box, past the back line. Efford kind of guffs it and then manages to get a rebound on it, and it's just kind of spilled into the goal by Sharp. He's kind of came out to grab it, and it just kind of spilt it through his hands, and it just rolls in, really. Obviously nice to see Efford to getting his first goal for the club, but no really in the circumstances you want. It's a pretty weak goal. After that, pretty boring game of football, bit of a snooze fest. The key point to take for this now is Motherwell are now winless in 10 games, and currently sitting 8th in the league. But the only teams that are in worse form than us are St Johnstone, Aberdeen, St Mirren, Dundee. Ross County are now in the top 6, a team that were looking favourites to go down a couple of weeks ago. And our last 5 games have been 3 draws, 2 losses. I have a question for you guys, I suppose. You might not know much about the club, but do you think it's time for Alexander to go, personally, from your perspective? Because I know there's a lot of Motherwell fans think that time's running out for Graham Alexander.
No. I don't think so. Because you should play another clown.
Right. If they're not in a relegation dogfight, I don't see a change of leadership, a change of pace at the club, really.
I think, right, I ranted about it last week because I'm quite angry that we're now winless in 2022.
Yeah, they haven't won a game at home since Boxing Day. So they haven't won a game in the league since Boxing Day, sorry.
We've only won 1 game all season. Not all season, sorry. Like, all of this year, and it was a cup game.
There was 2.
Against
won
Aberdeen.
2. Nah, you beat Green at Mawson in January as well. Don't forget that in the cup.
I forgot about the Dig Emery derby. Right, 2 games we've won this year have came in the cup. We play Hibs on Sunday in the cup, and I don't want to say I'm nervous, but Sam, if you want to see goals, by the way, this might be the game you actually get goals.
What? Don't you mean this?
I called for Alexander's head last week. I still call for it now, but I don't want him to leave the club. I just want him to sort out the team.
So you want him to go, but you don't want him to go?
Yeah, because I know realistically, like Kyle said, if we get rid of him, we'll just fucking hire another clown. It's not what I want to see. It's what I need to see is just an improvement in the team. I think there's players in that squad that just do not try, and I'll throw it in. You know how we've had what was it we called it last week? Was it Wanker of the Week?
Yeah, Wanker of the Week, yeah.
Wanker of the Week, right? Wanker of the Week is back. I've got to give it
everything now. That's everything now.
I have to give it to Liam Donnelly this week, right?
Is it always going to be a Motherwell player?
Yeah, because I seem to be the only one that's nominating Wanker of the Week. Right. See when you've got a bunch of fans giving you shit because you are playing shit. Don't start shushing your own support. And of all the parts of the Motherwell fan base you could shush, not the ultra section, not the singing section, mate. That ain't a good idea. There is fans legit wanting his contract tore up because he's shushed his own support. Donnelly has not been the same since he came back for injury, and even before that, you won the prime Xavi, mate. Just settle down. But point I'm trying to make is people want Alexander to go, even though the expectation for Motherwell every season is just to not get relegated. Doesn't matter where we finish, we just don't want to be in a playoff and we don't want to go down. I think there's too many Motherwell fans now going off that 4th place finish 2 years ago and going, we are prime Brazil now, we should be challenging for the league. No. That's not how this works. Motherwell's a bit of a roller coaster. It's good season, shit season, good season, shit season. get used to it.
But you'd still want Alexander to go, just because he's not winning games.
I think if he can't get this squad to gel together and we go further and further down and end up in a relegation dogfight, then something needs to change. And I think that despite the fact, sometimes there's injuries, sometimes players try harder in training, this constant fucking just I'll put this squad out this week and a different squad next week just isn't how to manage in the Scottish leagues. In England that works fine because every player's as good as each other. You've got to remember in the Scottish leagues there's some fucking howlers of players, and especially at Motherwell, Jordan Roberts is horrendous, but I don't want him to go because I just know that at the same time we're going to get a shitter manager in because look who's available. I don't want to see Jack Ross at Motherwell. I'm sorry. Like that's just that gives me the fear.
Speaking of Jack Ross, to be honest, briefly, I thought it was still really harsh for him to get sacked. So I don't see why you wouldn't want him at Motherwell. I think he'd be quite good at Motherwell, to be fair.
The thing is, obviously we weren't doing the pod when Jack Ross left Hibs, but the thing is with him that he always had some good games, and then always in the big games when maybe we needed a win or it was a semi-final or a final or something like that, he could always fuck it up somehow. Like his game management during the big moments was always really poor. So I don't know, Motherwell don't really have that many big moments that they need to get to, so I don't really. I think he'd do well if he was Motherwell manager. I think he'd probably if he was there, he'd probably have it, consistent top 6 finishes. But he'd also, I don't know, he wouldn't win anything as well.
Going back, Lewis, you said wanker of the week. I'm going to give my wanker of the week to Rocky Bashiri from Hibs for his red card. Technically it was a week ago, less than a week ago, so yeah, I think it was against Dundee, was it?
Oh yes, of course, yeah, the week before. But
yeah, fucking idiot. But
that's just Rocky Bashiri, isn't it? He
my wanker of the week.
Yeah, Rocky Bashiri he's just he's the kind of player who'd get sent off for that kind of thing. It's just
it was a bit of a silly sending off. Like he totally avoidable, but like even if he stayed on, I don't think Hibs would have scored anyway. So who even cares?
It doesn't even matter. Yeah, Hibs players can just do anything, and the game would still finish 0-0. They could finish with 8 men on the pitch and still be 0-0.
Eight men's a bit being a bit nice there. I was going to say you could have the entire team off with COVID that they're playing that week and they'd still be able to put it past the goal and off the crossbar.
Yeah, it'd still finish 0-0 if we weren't playing, if it was like 11 versus 1. But going to
games, you know how coaches like to be training ground games, A team versus B team. I reckon they almost finish 0-0 as well. Otherwise, some of the players in the B team might end up in the squad.
Yeah, it's just strange. There was literally nobody who could score a goal at Hibs. It's very strange. But talking of teams that can score goals, on the other side of Edinburgh, the highest scoring game of the week finished Dundee United 2, Hearts 2. Goal in the first minute from Liam Boyce.
Right. Goal inside 1 minute from Liam Boyce, played through by Mackay-Steven, and just curls it across the goal, off the post and into the net, completely past Ben Siegrist. However, I don't actually think that's the best part of this game. There was a long range effort in the second half from Liam Smith, outside the box, just hits it, totally trips up Craig Gordon, and it's in the goal.
That was also in the first minute of the second half as well. It was very
It was a very first minute game.
Yeah.
Obviously, at that point, it's 1-1. And then John Souttar decides to go full on. This is Sparta. And kind of just charges in. Which leads to a clear. I think it's a clear penalty. I don't know if you guys watched it. I think it's a clear-cut penalty.
Oh yeah.
Penalty's taken by Nicky Clark. It just finds the right-hand corner. Gordon's quite unlucky to catch it. Not to catch it, sorry. And after that, you've got a corner, a Hearts corner in the 81st minute. Header's knocked in by Craig Halkett. Actually a very interesting game. I've only seen the highlights, but really interesting game to watch. Highest scoring game of the week, as Sam said. But is this the bounce back for Hearts now? Then is this the
because they won
a resurgence?
They won. They've won the past. Was unbeaten in the past 3 games. Beat St Mirren and Aberdeen. I guess this is like them trying to, not fuck up that third place spot that they've really got a hold of at the moment. Like they are.
Realistically, though, are they going to fuck it? Because they're 13 points ahead of Hibs and
20 points behind Rangers.
20 points behind Rangers. So they're not going to get second, and they're not going to drop down to 4th unless Hibs have 13 draws. So,
yeah, Hibs have 13 draws and Hearts lose.
The only team that I think realistically now could catch them is Livy, but they've still got Hibs to go past on goal. Well, on goal difference. Fucking hell, this could happen, boys.
At the moment, yeah, I think I've said for the past 3 or 4 weeks that the amount of points that separate 4th and 10th is so small. It's 5 points at the moment between 4th and 10th. I think the top 2 are sorted. I think third is sorted for Hearts, and I think the bottom 2 are probably sorted by now. Maybe not the order, but I think I don't see Aberdeen or St Mirren getting pulled into that relegation dogfight between St Johnstone and Dundee.
It is plausible.
It's crazy, the Hibs between Hibs and Aberdeen. I mean, if Aberdeen turn it round, they're able. I mean, oh god, they've only won. They only won what 6 games? That's absolutely disgusting.
8 games this season, yeah.
If they're able to magically turn it round out of nowhere, they can suddenly pull themselves up and just start jumping that table. And like, it's crazy how the team in 10th could still get Europe with what six games left in the league, 6 games, and anyone in 10th could get Europe. And people who, I mean, I'd say I don't think anyone else will end up in that relegation dogfight. I think it's still between St Johnstone and Dundee. But
I'm going to nominate Motherwell to potentially fall into that. I'm not saying that as an unoptimistic fan or anything, but realistically, Aberdeen can bounce. That's they win this weekend. Well, not this weekend, but they get a win. That's 35 points. We're only a point behind us at that point. 2 wins, 2 losses. We're down in 10th. St Mirren 2 wins, and we're down in 10th. Yeah. And then St Johnstone have only got 12 points to get to catch us, which ain't a hard feat for them. Or Dundee.
Oh my god, I just looked at Aberdeen's away form. 10 away losses, 2 away wins. That's absolutely hideous.
There are only 3
Aberdeen, mate. It's just an Aberdeen.
There are only 3 games left of the regular season before the split. So there's a lot to change in terms of who's to finish in the top 6, who's not, because I reckon it's still going to be extremely tight coming down to the final league games of before the split.
The good thing is, the one good thing is we get a home Old Firm after the split, which we haven't for the last few seasons. So it's been good. I mean, it didn't matter last season because obviously Rangers ran away with it, but this season with a tight one, that is just huge, having that home Old Firm after the split there.
With fans as well this time.
Yeah, with fans. I mean, because we got the best away form in the league by a country mile. Our home form's not perfect. I think we're still unbeaten at home, but we've drawn a lot of games, and we've drawn maybe 4 games at home. But our away form is fairly tough. So, we should do well against Hibs, Livy, Ross County away. You'd hope, and then we've got it'll probably be both Rangers and Hearts at home in the split. It looks like. Yeah, because we've played at Tynecastle twice already, so I think it'd be Rangers and Hearts at home, which would be absolutely incredibly lucky for a draw for us. So
to have basically your title challengers and the team in third at home during the split, I think is lucky.
Yeah,
it's a big change. I'm just going to quickly touch on the last game of the week, the 1-0 win for Ross County over St Mirren. There's really nothing I can say about it. It's another kind of snooze fest of a game. Only goal in the game comes from a Hungbo penalty.
Yeah.
Manages to send the keeper the wrong way. Comes from a challenge from Richard Tate, which to me, I've watched it back. I've watched it slowly. I've turned the speed down on the highlights video. It looks a bit soft, actually. Now I don't know if the challenge is not the challenge. I don't know if the penalty's given based on the challenge from Tate, or if it's due to the follow up from Shaughnessy.
I think I've got
kind of like Tate kind of flicks him and then he just clatters into Shaughnessy, but Shaughnessy's already on the ground, so it actually looks like Hungbo kind of just bundles him over.
Well, I've got here that the penalty was given away by Gogic, so
you got it on Gogic.
Yeah, well, that's what this says here. Obviously, I haven't put the highlights.
From the angles I could see on the highlights, it looked like it had been given away by Tate, but I don't know if is it maybe Gogic pushes him in. I'm watching it back just now. Right. So looking back at it now, I think what I'm seeing is the ball comes into the box, it's hit back, Hungbo chests it, and then there's kind of like, it's like Tate and Gogic go in on him at the same time, and then he kind of clatters into Shaughnessy at the end of it. So
I mean, I think with all the confusion, I feel the ref almost felt obliged to give a pen there.
Yeah, because
me and Sam sitting here confused. So maybe it's Gogic has pushed him, Tate's maybe pulling his hand back to try and not give away the foul,
and then obviously Shaughnessy,
and then he just clatters into Shaughnessy. So either way,
like there's
a penalty to be awarded.
There's potentially 3 fouls going on there. So
yeah,
I know you said earlier that it was soft, but it sounds like once we've gone back into it now, it sounds like it's.
Once I've analysed it, it wasn't soft at all.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like a definite penalty. It's just the question is who actually conceded the penalty.
Is it only Aberdeen and Motherwell that are winless recently? Right, they have to be the only. They probably both have to have the worst form.
I think St Mirren's getting there under Robinson, but
yeah,
I'm
so
not just
bringing Stephen Robinson in, your form takes a shit.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, Stephen Robinson's came back to St Mirren, and guess who he stuck up front? Curtis Main.
Oh.
Yeah,
Curtis Main's backing a team.
It's Main.
Curtis Main,
What a guy, man. Forgot about him.
absolute meme. But
he's the main man.
he is the main man.
Curtis meme.
Well, he didn't start the game. It was Alex Grave that started the game, but he was brought on as a sub. It's a bit of a strange one, and he actually had the closest chance for St Mirren in the whole game.
Fair enough.
Which was not a close challenge at all. It was a Curtis Main shot, but anyway. Yeah, it's heating up. It's really heating up.
Yeah, it's very tight, that top 6 race. We've still got 3 games
so
left.
Mm-hmm.
this is peak cinch here. I mean, the cinch is the only league in the world where a team that have scored 43 goals can still have a negative goal difference. The third highest scored team in the league.
Negative goal difference.
They've conceded the second most in the league, but they've scored the third most. It just
sounds like me on FIFA, to be honest.
Yeah. They are just playing. Yeah, they're just playing FIFA. I mean, Malky Mackay, he doesn't actually manage the team in real life. He manages the team on FIFA. Just sims every game.
At the end of the season, yeah.
That's the same in real life. He just sits at home and he sends the team away to the game. He just sits at home and sims it.
No, he's literally sitting at the dugout. He's got like a PlayStation controller in his hand.
He's just having limbs on his couch when he packs Charles Cook.
Yeah.
Just I can't actually believe how tight the league is. I've never seen a league this tight before. Like,
and there's
it's tight at the top, but it's tight in the fight for Europe, and arguably, well, it's always tight for relegation. But
it's tight in every section.
It's like there's
Celtic Rangers gap is tight.
this is like
points.
Bundesliga. It screams Bundesliga about how tight it is between 3rd and like 10th.
It's
This
actually
is
been
why I
a
love
very
Cinch.
good league.
This is why I love it.
Yeah,
But-
it's been fun.
Gotta love cinch.
It's that cinch. This is what the cinch money does. League turns on its head, goes crazy.
You can buy a great used car and have an absolute fucking
baller league. Yeah,
fantastic Premier League.
I'll see if I can find the clip of the I was saying earlier about Alan Brazil getting absolutely like roasted by Angie. I think he was saying Angie was talking to an Aussie sports outlet or something, and he was saying, "Oh, have you heard what Alan Brazil had to say about you at the start of the season?" And he was saying, "Oh, who's this Ange Poste Kuglu?" And he's like, "Alan Brazil, just being Alan Brazil." And then when Angie goes, "Well, yeah, since then he's clearly had quite a few slices of humble pie, quite a few slices."
That's just such a shot at Alan Brazil, who is literally a walking strawberry.
Humble pie there, mate.
Alan Brazil is a walking strawberry.
Yeah.
Walking strawberry. Realistically, though, we could be heading for Helicopter Sunday 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, we
So-
could.
I think, but I'm not sure. I think on Helicopter Sunday it was just the league that they had decided, wasn't it? But this year, like, there could be so much going on the final day.
It could be Super Sunday.
So saying, I mean, the difference between like 90-minute playing a game in 90 and playing a game in 90 plus 7 could be a team a team qualifying for the Europa League or just having their manager sacked for mid-table obscurity. You know,
Yeah.
like someone could just.
When was the last time this league was like this tight, like at the top, like at the middle?
I don't think it's ever been like this.
Pre your club dying, Kyle. Pre your club dying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Easy.
Oh, here we go.
Plenty.
Yeah. No, it probably early 2000s was when it was as exciting as this. Definitely like 04, 05. Like, definitely not more recent than that.
Right, so how does it work now then? So I know, like, the top team in Scotland's automatic Champions League. Right.
Yeah, and the second team is automatic Europa League, but goes into the Champions League qualifying.
Yeah,
Right.
like, is it
And then third place is Europa League qualifying,
Third place is Europa League qualifying.
and fourth place is Conference League qualifying.
No. Third place is Conference League qualifying, and the cup winner is Europa League
Oh yeah,
qualifying.
Europa League qualifying.
So, but if the cup winners Celtic, Rangers, or Hearts, that means the
Fourth place get Europa
Fourth
League
place-
and
fourth place
yeah,
get Conference.
Sorry,
yeah.
Fourth
Yes.
place get Europa and fifth would get Conference.
Europa League,
Yeah.
please. Ross
So
County
that-
get
yeah, I
Europa
think-
League.
If Rangers won the Europa League, Rangers would be guaranteed Champions League. Celtic would be guaranteed Champions League. Hearts would get a Champions League qualifying place. Hibs, as it stands, Hibs would get a conference place, and the cup winner would get a Europa League place.
It's actually it's not quite what you said. So yeah, so first place is Champions League playoff round.
This first place not group stage.
Unlucky.
Oh yeah, so so what it is the first place gets the playoff round if this season's Champions League winner doesn't qualify through the league as well.
Okay.
But obviously, if it's like someone like Real Madrid or PSG or Liverpool or whatever, they'll qualify through the league, and they'll also probably.
So if Celtic get that, they're basically out because
So-
they're
yeah,
shit
so-
at fucking European qualifying rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second to win the league and still not get Champions League.
Second place gets second qualifying round Champions League, which is guaranteed Europa League group stage. Third is Conference League third qualifying round. Fourth is Conference League second qualifying round, and fifth gets a spot if the cup winners also qualify for Europe.
Can you two be nice to each other for 5 minutes?
Well, Andy, at least you'll get into the group stage in the Europa League. Then you have to go for the qualifying.
That's what I'm saying. At least we can't get dumped into the conference if we win the league.
But talking of European games, it is our European section now.
Yeah, we start with Celtic first.
Yeah, so Celtic play ABBA in the Eurovision playoff.
No, it realistically, Israel in the Eurovision. Yeah, like
the Celtic did surrender.
Celtic will always end up just playing in Israel. I don't know how we can. It's unavoidable.
You've got to congratulate Ange, though. He's the first ever manager to get eliminated from the Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League in one season. Congratulations, Ange.
He's the first manager to manage in all three, though. So absolutely, he's a trendsetter. He is. And my man's so goated. He doesn't even need a UEFA license to compete in 3 UEFA competitions.
That's how he earns his UEFA license, is getting knocked out of all UEFA competitions.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, he's a European veteran now. He's struggled in three European leagues. Who needs the license?
Apparently, Marine Le Pen's got a direct phone line on him just in case she wins the French presidency, so she can get a quick exit from Europe.
It looked really spicy, but the Russian invasion, the topical Russian invasion of Ukraine, has just led to Macron just skyrocket the polls. So it looks like Macron will be returned for presidency fairly comfortably now. He's got 30.
How we going to this?
Yeah.
How do we get onto this? I wanted to talk about Rangers Red Star, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rangers play Red Star Belgrade in the Europa League knockout round. I'm not quite sure what these rounds are called.
Round of 16.
Round of 16. Round of 16.
Yes.
So how do you think the tie is going to go? It's an interesting tie coming up.
I'll start with everyone else first. I want to hear everyone else's before I put mine in. Obviously, I'll be attending the game tomorrow, so.
Yeah. So
I said last week it was actually a proper Europa League tie. Like, you can't predict this one. You realistically cannot say that Red Star's going to turn up and do over Rangers, but you can't say that Rangers are going to turn up and do over Red Star. However,
you can never predict a result away in the Balkans. Like, for all you know, your manager's going to get clobbered on the head with a flare.
Yeah, possibly. Like, anything can happen.
Yeah.
In these games, it's insane how much.
I think home advantage will play a big part in this. So
definitely in both games. Yeah, I think it's
what you want tomorrow, Kyle, is you want Rangers to go out there and score as many goals as they can.
Well, isn't that the aim of every game, though?
Well, aye, but you want a big margin so that you're taking a big margin over to Belgrade.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
If you only score 1 goal tomorrow,
yep.
Red Star Belgrade in Belgrade with their ultras. Can't remember their name, but it doesn't matter.
The ultras, aye.
The Red Star Ultras. Red Star Belgrade. Red Star's a completely different club. But realistically, if you only get a 1-0, I can see Red Star Belgrade beating you 2-1 kind of style. So you want to go out there comfortably tomorrow, get maybe a 2-0, 3-0 win, and make it a wee bit harder for them. You just got to make this tie hard for them, and you'll get through it. And the nice part of it is, if you just get through it, you might have a nice tie after it. And I realistically think you could go all the way. I think the only team that could cause you problems would be Barcelona.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got Sevilla, who have won like 57,000 Europa League titles.
Oh yeah, you can't
West
bet
Ham
on
as
Scottish
well.
clubs in the Europa League. You cannot.
West
West Ham still in it?
Yeah, so West Ham play Sevilla.
West Ham are
So
a dark horse. Okay, never mind. Okay,
Oh,
Sevilla
I
would
bet
have
we get a good tie as
That's
well.
that's a good tie because West Ham were a bit of a dark horse in the tournaments. The first time they've got into Europe for a long time. Because I remember they got dumped out in the qualifying under Slavan Bilic. They got spat out by some minnows from like
Slovenia,
Bikira from Slovenia or Romania or something like that.
Yeah, it was a Romanian side that dumped him out. Embarrassing.
No, I'm sure it was a Slovenian side because they couldn't play the game in their ground, so they had to play it at the national stadium for Slovenia Slovenia or Slovakia. It was one of the Slavic states anyway. It was Slovenia, Slovakia.
Yeah, but looking at the rest of the teams that are still in it, you've got Leon and Porto. Obviously, I think Rangers had the same group as Leon, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Leon, Porto, Betis, Eintracht Frankfurt, Sevilla, West Ham, Braga, Monaco, Atalanta, Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen knocked out Rangers a few years ago.
Yeah.
Barcelona, Galatasaray, and RB Leipzig as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'll give my thoughts on the game tomorrow though. Yeah, obviously coming back off of the game against Dortmund, the two legs were unbelievable. Definitely two games I'll never forget. So yeah, obviously I've looked at Belgrade's results recently in Europe. So I think they had Midtjylland in their group. I don't know what the previous results were for them, but I think they drew a few, or they drew the two games. I think. Obviously, I'll double check that. But yeah, and obviously we beat Midtjylland a few years ago by quite a big margin. Obviously, there's a lot of goals involved in that game. And yeah, I think they had Braga as well, and I think they got beat by Braga. So yeah, obviously it's going to be one of them games. Obviously, yeah, try and get a couple of goals at Ibrox and then to bring over to Serbia. But yeah, looking forward to it. It's definitely a favourable tie, and it's definitely I don't know what it is. I think we're favourites or something on the bookies. I don't know.
Should be. Especially if you've dumped out Dortmund. I mean,
yeah, 100%.
how do you pronounce Red Star's proper name?
Savina's Register.
Savina's Register.
Yeah. It's just Red Star in Serbian, I think.
Serbian.
Yeah.
Do you know who? Oh, where is it? Was it they? Did they get past? Who did they knock out in the previous round? Was it Sheriff?
Yeah, so they won their group, so they got straight through to this round.
No, it was Braga that knocked out Sheriff Tiraspol.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. So they got a fast track because they won their group.
Okay. So they won their Europa League group, thus putting them into the 16 instead of the 32.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have to worry about that.
So right. So Red Star won theirs, got through. Sheriff Tiraspol finished third in their Champions League group with Shakhtar Donetsk, Real Madrid, and Inter Milan.
And then Sheriff played Braga, who were also in Red Star's group.
It's pretty much group winners go through to round of 16 automatically. The people runners up went into the playoff round, which we had Dortmund, and then because they were, I think they were third in the Champions League. So we played them. They went down.
Their form is looking immense. Actually, I'm just looking at their form in all competitions. They've only lost once going back to.
Of course. Yeah.
They've only lost once going back to
November
to January, and that was against Shakhtar. And before then, they only lost another once. So they're actually, and that was against Radnik Serdalika. That's the only game the other game they lost. They've lost 2 games in 4 months. So it's which I think is how many Rangers have lost actually.
The worst bit about this is if I search Red Star, because I'm in France, I just get the Parisian club. Yeah. So I can't actually look at the results unless I put Belgrade.
Yeah, Red Star Belgrade have conceded 1 goal in their past 5 games in the league, which included a derby win over Partizan as well. So,
damn, don't put even more nerves on me for that.
Your team's in form, their team's in form. It should be a good match.
I wouldn't say we're in form, to be honest. I wouldn't say Europa League form, yeah, but league form.
You've only dropped 4 points in your last.
Aye, but we're scraping results though. We're just scraping results.
That's how many we've dropped.
I think because the
we got dumped out of Europe. So
no, I think because the league is so tight in Actually, yes, because the league is so tight in Scotland, I think Rangers are just doing what they can to get the 3 points. Whereas, actually, no, Red Star, actually, their league's quite tight as well. They're 2 points behind Partisan. So, I was going to make an argument there, but that's just falling apart.
It's the Croatian league that gets walked every season.
Yeah.
Like, I think last year it was Dynamo Zagreb had wrapped it up by February. It was great. It was one of the earliest league wins in Europe.
I think last year Rangers were the earliest, weren't they, in Europe overall?
Yeah, we won league in March. Yeah.
But, right, realistically, what we all predicting for Rangers Red Star tomorrow? Red Star Belgrade.
Okay,
Is it away or is it home?
Is it
prediction? Is it prediction?
It is prediction time.
Ibrox, I think, I'll start predictions. 2-1 for Rangers at Ibrox. I think Red Star will go away thinking we're the tough guys with a spooky stadium, and then they'll go to Ibrox and then they'll get a narrow loss for them. So it'll be a win for Rangers, 2-1.
Just before we keep going, can we get the scores from last week and how it affects the overall?
Sorry, yes.
Let's see, Candy.
Well, sorry, I'm just
No, it's
excited.
fine. I'm all right. I just want to know how it's going.
Last week, obviously, just the three of us predicted. Carl, you got 1 point.
I'm shit at this. Last season I was unreal.
Yeah, Carl got 1 point. I got 6, and Lewis, you got 2 correct results. So you finished with 10 points.
More than Motherwell.
I have the same amount of points as we have winless games.
Yeah.
That is how you go.
So the current points for this season, Marcus and Gary both have 0 because they don't send theirs in at all and they don't reply to the group chat. Carl, you have 12. Andy has 14. I have 26, and Lewis has 34.
Oh, Lewis, man.
He's running away with it.
Mars bars, huh?
And there's only 5 games to predict this week, which is difficult.
What a save from Courtois. So I was just looking at the PSG, Real Madrid.
I've got the game up.
Oh, I forgot that was tonight.
Yeah, but
I've got it on the chat already.
Carl's got it on the chat.
Can we watch it in the background?
Yeah, it's alright.
Who's it? Is PSG won the first leg 1-0, right?
Yeah.
In Paris.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, the Messi missed
last
the pen.
goal.
Messi missed the
Last
pen.
minute goal from Mbappe, yeah.
Messi missed a pen and Mbappe scored.
Yeah. Anyway, predictions.
Scored against the club that's kind of.
Predictions. Okay,
Yes.
so I
Cinch,
think
guys.
Rangers will beat Red Star 2-1 in the first leg at Ibrox.
2-1. Yeah. I think this is going to be a really, really tough one to call. I do see Red Star scoring. I don't know.
Just think of their squad as having like 11 Mitrovic's.
Yeah, well,
Just
they've
big
got
Serbian
some good
bastards.
players. They've got in fact, I'm just going to look at the players they've got. They've got Alexander Dragovic, who used to play for. He was part of the Leverkusen side that knocked out Rangers a couple of years back. He was at Leicester for a bit as well. So they've got.
This is the Red Star has, eh?
Yeah, Red Star
Yeah.
have
Oh, shit. Right.
They've also got former LA Galaxy player Alexander Katai. They've basically got a lot of Serbians in the team as well, who are part of the setup there in the national team. But I'm going to go with Rangers for this one. I think I'm going to go. It's going to be a tight one. I think we go 3-2.
Oh, goals.
I think there will be goals. I think Red Star do score a lot of goals, so I think there will be goals in this one.
Right.
Like, see, Rangers went for the coefficient, you know. I mean, Serbia are one of those clubs that are snapping at our heels, so
Yeah.
if you can get one over on them, then that's important.
Just for the
Yeah,
coefficient.
Obviously, I will go to the game tomorrow, so quite excited for that. It'll be quite good. So, yeah, I obviously think we'll win. Obviously, first of all, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say we're going to lose, am I? I think it'll be 2-0. Tav to definitely score a penalty, 100%.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Rangers in Europe, you got to expect one of your goals will be a Tav penalty. Like, that's just, you have to accept that. Kind of.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. Yeah, 2-0, and then I predict them win, but it's back in Serbia. Depends what happens with this game. So yeah, 2-0 Rangers.
And Lewis?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Rangers.
Ooh.
2-0 Rangers. I think realistically, it's just that home advantage. That's all it is for me. Home advantage.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a really tough one to call, this one. But also,
The last one to call, was it?
also this week we've got the Cup quarter-finals this weekend. No league games. So one of the first Cup game is Saturday. It's Hearts versus St Mirren.
Oh, I'll go first on this one. I think Hearts will win. I think they win they've been scoring goals, haven't they? Quite a lot. Hearts.
Yeah.
Against St Mirren. 3-0.
Hearts would probably just do the business against St Mirren. I mean, Stephen Robinson, St Mirren, so they're probably on the decline. Arguably could get themselves dragged into a relegation dogfight under him. So I think 2-0 Hearts.
Yeah, I think we could go with 2-0 Hearts as well. St Mirren have just been really poor since Goodwin left. They haven't won a game, and I don't see them winning this one against a Hearts side who are kind of coming back, who are picking up some more results again. So yeah, I don't see St Mirren doing anything. And Lewis?
Do you know? I will also bet against St Mirren, because why would I back Stephen Robinson? Gonna say Dundee United Hearts. I'm a week ahead. I'm a week ahead. Jesus, right? I'm gonna say Hearts 2-0 in the it's Scottish Cup. I'm thinking the league. Sorry. Aye, 2-0 Hearts. 2-0 Hearts.
I literally say the game before everyone starts a prediction. Just don't listen. There you go.
No, my brain's just away today. I'm sorry.
And we've also got Motherwell versus Hibs on Saturday.
A winless team against a scoreless team.
Yeah, that's what it is. It is El Shitico.
This is a proper cup tie, isn't it? Like, this is actually a really hard one to predict. Right. Yous can defend. We can't score. We can defend. Yous can't score. This is going all the way.
There's only one option.
It's going to penalties, isn't it?
I'm only kidding.
Very clearly a 5-5.
I'm putting that down for you.
And it'll be
No,
okay.
don't. Right.
Fine.
I am going to say, right, this is going to be one of those games that goes all the way to penalties, and then it's like...
No penalties.
No, because we're both that shit. It's just going to be the goalkeepers taking penalties. I'm
11-10 on penalties.
I am going to back Motherwell to win on penalties.
Oh. So you
The
say
only
0-0?
reason being is because we still have penalty takers and strikers. You've lost your best striker, you've lost your best winger as well. So I back Motherwell to win on penalties.
Yeah, why is Mueller not fit and firing, huh?
I don't know. I think it definitely most of it is we've signed all these players, but they're from completely different leagues. So Mueller's from MLS. Obviously, the two Norwegian guys are from Norway.
The Norwegian league is the best league in Europe, but the toughest competition.
Yeah, she's in Scotland now.
Your season is
Irrelevant.
It's just bullying now.
Right, I'm going to predict this one. Motherwell Hibs. Probably the same thing. Keepers will start taking penalties. I think Motherwell will edge this in extra time.
In extra time, okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying what, 1-0?
1-0. Yeah, 1-0.
Do you know what?
Realistically, I think it'll be a 0-0 with pens in extra time.
I think it's going to be one of these ones that, like, the referee just gets bored, so has to send it for a replay, because we've been round penalties that many times.
The referee gets so bored he subs his son on, and
Yeah. It's going to be one of those ones where they call them for the managers to take pens again.
Well, Mbappe's just scored.
that sounds like such a Serie A kind of rule. Oh, Mbappe just scored. That sounds like such a Serie A rule. Like the managers take penalties because that's where Serie A they're all.
What would you have in that scenario? Sean Maloney against Graham Alexander. So basically, 2 defenders.
Well, no, Maloney was an attacking mid. Maloney can hit them.
Oh, could be offside. This. Oh no, it's play on.
I don't know realistically in that scenario. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's going to penalties, but it's going to be like infinite penalties and then a replay or something just because no one scored.
The lights of the
referee's just going to look at his watch and be like,
can a penalty shootout end in a draw?
do you know what it's going to be like, Sam? Do you remember that Simpsons episode where they're trying to make Bart do the catch in the baseball game?
Yeah.
And now the sunrise, brought to you by God. Like, that's what we're going to have with our penalties.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go Hibs on penalties for this one after a 0-0 draw.
Ooh, sorry.
Just because it's gonna end like 34-33 or something like that. On
Yeah, I didn't say you'd win. Hibs on pen. I was saying 0-0 draw on pens. Hibs after the pens.
Hibs on pens. On the Sunday we have Dundee.
Oh, you're my favourite now.
We have Dundee versus Rangers.
God.
Oh, what a surprising
Oh,
the worst team in the draw.
All I'm going to say, is on the road up to Hampden, Rangers are shit. At Hampden, Rangers are fucking terrible. So make your predictions, guys.
Is this a bad time to say that I think you'll lose 1-0 to Dundee? Because you'll be too fucked for the Belgrade game.
I don't even know anymore, to be honest, mate. Surely
I'm gonna predict it. In fact, yeah,
Right,
1-0 Dundee.
Yeah, I think Gio's actually probably written off the Scottish Cup if they're still in Europe and they're pushing for the league. And I'd say your
Why would we
squad's
write
not,
off the cup? What a stupid thing to say.
because he doesn't. He's probably just like, I don't care about the cup.
Oh yeah,
Like,
so we'll just win Europa League instead.
no, I don't think he'll win the
Like,
Europa
come on.
League, but
So why would he rule off the cup then? That's stupid.
because he doesn't need the cup. He needs to put all his eggs in the league
Yes,
because
we
that's
do
your
need the cup.
priority.
Yeah, we need a league and a cup, mate.
Yeah. Realistically,
I don't know if
your ambition's there.
realistically, they've already lost a
No,
Diddy Cup.
the Celtic just rule out Conference League, because he got beat, probably. Yeah.
We rule out Europe every season because we're garbage.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
But we put all our eggs in the League Cup. We're League Cup lovers.
Yeah. Fucking Diddy cups.
Anyway, I think I'm gonna go for a Rangers win. I think it's gonna be a tight 1-0. I think just because they would have spent all that energy, but I do think they're gonna see this one through. It'll be interesting to see how this game affects the second leg as well, because if this game here goes to extra time, then Rangers are going to be basically fucked for that trip to Belgrade.
I'm thinking this is going to be quite exciting. I think it'll be Dundee 3-2. Like, I think Dundee, right? Sure, they probably know they're in a relegation dogfight, so maybe they go all in on the cup, and they just absolutely hit Rangers, who would be hopefully not suffering from a European hangover. But I think Dundee actually 3-2. Go for an exciting game.
That's such an Andy result to predict.
3-2 is the most entertaining result in football, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, 5 each.
Actually, like 10-11 would be, but like realistically,
5 each is a belter to watch. No, I'm gonna say it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be one of those frustrating games like against St Johnstone. I'm gonna say 2-0, but it'll be goals come eventually, and then they'll just capitalise on it because Dundee need to go full out, obviously. So 2-0 Rangers.
2-0 to Rangers. And the final quarter-final and the final game of the weekend is Dundee United facing Celtic.
Ooh.
I think we've got this. Nah, we got this in the bag. I think it's a 2-0 Celtic result there. safe and easy. Best tackle league, best defense in the league. I think it'll be 2-0, and we'll settle it.
2-1 Dundee United.
Oh, you're really going for that one? Okay.
Kyle, that feels like a spite. that feels like a spiteful prediction.
No, I don't think Dundee United have got a good defence. You have your off days when you are fucking terrible, so I think one of them, because obviously you have no interest in the cups, do you? So
look, we'd lose against Dundee United if they're called Dundee Club de Football, and they were European,
or if they're in any Europa League competition or any Europa competition.
Yeah.
Nah, 2-1. They're confident. Oh, Mbappe's just scored properly.
Oh, Mbappe, goal. He's such a goal.
1-0 Celtic.
1-0 to the Celtic.
Don't say the Celtic, it just makes it sound
It's like saying the Ukraine, it doesn't work.
I don't know what that is. Like, why? Like, no one has ever said the Ukraine, but the media just love it. I don't know why. Like, no, you don't go country the Romania, the Scotland. Like,
Did they all die?
the Rangers. Right. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh wait, I need to make a prediction for this one. Wait on me. I'm gonna say Celtic 2-0. Yeah, I'd that will set up some really good semi-finals. I think there's a possibility you can have Edinburgh Derby, Old Firm semi-finals, which is.
do you remember? I remember when it was Edinburgh Derby, Old Firm. Oh, but we got drawn against Hearts. Hibs got drawn against Rangers.
Yeah, wasn't that last season or the season before or something, wasn't it?
Two seasons ago. Those were the Murrayfield games.
Yeah.
Honestly, Murrayfield is such a better stadium than Hampden, because you're about 10 times closer to the pitch. It's a bigger stadium, and I can walk there.
And it's a better atmosphere.
4 minutes away.
It's a better atmosphere as well. There should be just more.
All I'm going to say, see when the draw's happening for the semi-final, right? Motherwell and Hibs will still be playing.
It'll be like
Yeah.
it would be. It'll be 51-50 on penalties.
There's just going to be like someone come out like halfway through and just be like, yeah, lads, you know the season's over and the Scottish Cup's over as well,
I
right?
think UEFA or FIFA probably have some rule, right, where if it goes to like 20 penalties each, they just do a coin toss. I think there's probably a coin toss in there. Like,
No, do you know what I'd love to see? See when every single player's taking one, including the keepers, the managers take one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We said that, yeah.
We should do that. That'd be good. But no, I think a coin toss it probably goes like, how long's the longest penalty shoot?
Come on, that's one for next week, right?
That is one for next week.
You know this
because it'll be Hibs Motherwell.
It'll still be Hibs Motherwell playing.
Yeah, it's all going.
Anyway, guys, thanks for coming with us today. It's the end of the pod. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you again next week when hopefully Hibs and Motherwell have finished their penalty shootout.
Yeah.
Yep, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
The False 90s podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, and our website at false90s.wordpress.com. For updates, follow False 90s on both Twitter and Instagram. And a big thank you to Fransisco Aluear and his track Space Game, which is our theme tune. Talking of Ukraine, I have just won something. I have just won a Zinchenko signed shirt from a giveaway.
No way.
No
Nice.
way.
He's the most versatile footballer. Plays as a centre attacking mid, centre forward for Ukraine, and then a left back for City. He's like David Alba, right? All these like Eastern European nations, they have that one player who's like kind of their best player, and they just play in a ridiculous position for their national team, and then like as opposed to their club.